Viewers, you are welcome to this channel again, and we're going to be feeding you information about the Super Eagles of Nigeria that will be taking their games to the AFCON Nation Cups very soon in countdown of 7 days to come. And we want to be talking about pretty much about them, how AFCON started, when it started, and more about how Nigeria has fared in the Nations Cup. We have our guest with us, Mr. Clement, who is going to be talking to us more about what has happened in the past to the Super Eagles. And also with me is Ferdinand here. I am Solomon. You're welcome on board. Nigeria has played some friendlies before going to this AFCON. They have played Egypt, they won 1-0. They have also played Zimbabwe, they played 0-0, even though there were things that we're talking about that happened during the match. They will also be playing Senegal in Egypt, and that will be on Sunday at 6:45. So we hope you will also watch that game. Mr. Clement, what do you have to say about the Super Eagles?
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful opportunity to be here, and I must say I really like being part of this program.
Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to say that the Super Eagles is a delight to watch anytime, any day.
Of course.
And the uniting factor for the Nigerian people is the pride that the Super Eagles are playing in the 2019 AFCON.
Yeah.
And if you go back to history, you will agree with me that the Super Eagles, Nigeria has always added value to the AFCON. So right from immemorial, when the competition started, and to present day, I would want to say that the AFCON is getting more exciting day by day. Every edition comes with its own sparkle.
Of course.
And I mean, we can't wait to be in Egypt, because 7 days from now, the whole country will be agog, because the Super Eagles will make it happen.
Of course.
You know.
And now, looking at how far Nigeria has always played, what do you think? What is your take about this AFCON? How far do you think Nigeria will go?
Well, I will say that we have a very experienced team, and we have also a very young team. It's a blend of the past and the present. We have very experienced players like John Mikel Obi. He has played in the Super Eagles. He has been to several AFCON. He was even a winner with the Super Eagles during the 2013 edition in South Africa. So having him in this team is a morale booster for the team, because he's an organizer. He knows how to put the team together. And we have the likes of Ahmed Musa, who is also in the team. We saw what he did during the last
World Cup
competition,
yes,
that Nigeria featured in the World Cup. So I want to say that these Eagles, they will deliver. They also have a blend of youthfulness, young boys who are very hot, like the new boy from Villarreal, Chukwueze.
Yes.
I want to commend Rowe for giving him that opportunity to make that team. I want to see that these Eagles will go far. That is my own take.
I want to agree with you too, because Villarreal are looking at selling Chukwueze for as high as 65 million. That's massive for me. It means he has really put himself in the game and is getting there. Then you have also talked about Mikel Obi, who has the ability to change the game and make things better for the Super Eagles. I also want to talk about the like of Iheanacho, who didn't make the team. And I will not really say I have problem with that, because even when he was included in the team, the people were not very happy. How would General Raw include him in the team, despite seeing that he has not been able to play so much in his club and so on like that. And I remember what happened to Iheanacho in the final of Man City winning Premier League. He was introduced in the game with the hope of spoiling the party for Man City. But he actually gave them the chance by throwing away a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He lost the game. And I wonder what will happen if Nigeria could be in final and he has such a chance and he threw it away.
But why would you guys, the thing about Iheanacho now not coming at all is, I give applause to Raw for not even picking him in the first place, because you look at how he has played for Leicester City. You notice that he has not just he didn't play like almost half of the season
At all.
So you have to see that he that hasn't played for half of the season, you can't give such a player an opportunity to go and play a cup or a competition where you know your team or your country needs to win, or you know that they are meant to go very far in that competition. You can't come and give him the opportunity to come and play. Yes, giving him the opportunity might give him a boost in his confidence, but that boost in his confidence will not be able to help him reach that point where you want him to reach to be able to help the team.
I think I want to object to what you said, because I personally I was not too happy when the decision came that Iheanacho was dropped. There is a different ball game when you play for club and country. The competition like this, you know, most countries go far back as bringing in their veterans, their experienced players. Roger Milla came back to the Cameroonian team and he made a difference. In 1982, Paulo Rossi, who nobody gave him a chance, there was even an uproar in Italy when he made the team. But it was Paulo Rossi that single-handedly delivered the World Cup for the Italians. We also had the case of Schillaci during the 1990 World Cup. He was nobody knew him. He came up from the bench. He was low before that tournament. There was even a protest why he made the team. But when Salvatore Schillaci came into the Italian team, he scored in all the games until Italy won that cup. So to me, I feel Iheanacho, yes, he must have had issues with his club, not being informed. But you see, in competitions like this, you bring in such players, their confidence grows from time to time, and that experience cannot be taken away. I remember the goal he scored against Zambia in Lusaka. That was a masterpiece, and it will only take an experienced player like Iheanacho to score such goals. So I would have, if I were to add my own contribution, I would have wanted Raul to give him.
If you wanted Raul to put Iheanacho into the squad, who would you want to take out of that squad now? Because you will look at the squad and you see players that are up to the task also to play the positions that Iheanacho plays. But now my question would be that who would you want him to take out of the squad for Iheanacho to be there?
Stay.
Well, I know, yeah, he is the tactician, he knows the players better than we do. But I will say that there are still one or two young players that will still have
Time.
2, 3, 4 Nations Cup to play. In competitions like this, you take the gamble, and sometimes you don't know, it could pay off.
Well, following the policy of Gernot Rohr, he loves to use players that play for their club, that get regular playing time. I remember when Mikel was not playing regular time, he had to go and visit Mikel. He visited the likes of Mohamed Musa, he visited the like of Moses to ensure they are doing well in their clubs. But now there's a contradiction in his selection actually, because if you look at the likes of Leon Balogun, has not been featuring very well for his club in the recent time at Brighton, and he made the squad. So looking at the defensive line now, I am a bit scared for the defense, because if you look at that, Leon Balogun is not that very physical.
Even William Ekong too, he has not played in Udinese FC for some time, I think because of injury.
Yes.
So that would be another bad decision that he has made, putting him into the squad.
Looking at where we are, I just want to say that if you take a look at that Nigerian defense line, the trio of the two white men, they are fantastic. If you watch the game against Zimbabwe,
yes,
you could really see William Trust Ekong and this other guy, they had the blend. Their recovery was superb, and these boys have the experience. I think this is one of the best defense we've had for some time now, because I see the blend. Both players understand themselves and they can always close in. The young man they call Awazim, who comes in to defend, and Shehu Abdullahi, this team is complete. The defense line, I think, is good.
To a very good level, I will agree with you. Because Gernot Rohr has really worked on the defense. If you look at, he has been, especially Nigeria had real problem when we were going to the World Cup on the left side of the defense. Yes. He has introduced a lot of players like Troy Ebue, like Brian Idowu, and now he has brought in the like of Jamilu Collins into the squad to be able to ensure that he solved the problem. He even brought the likes of Ola Aina, who played for Chelsea, yes. And I think he has actually found a solution to that, because if you look at the overflow of Jamilu Collins, even in the Zimbabwe game, you will appreciate what Raw has done in our game.
I think also bringing Aina to the squad was a very good thing, because if you watch Aina's time with Torino in Italy, he has played brilliantly well. Yes, yes. Very good assists. He even scored like I think 2 or 3 goals this season for a left back. So you have to say that he is a very good addition to this squad going to this AFCON competition. I think it's very nice what he has done with his squad in terms of defense.
Another area I would like us to look into is the striking force. You can see Ahmed Musa, Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon, Henry Onyekuru, and the rest of them. Yeah. Let's talk about a veteran. Let's talk about Odion Ighalo. We saw him emerge as the highest goal scorer during the World Cup qualifiers, yes, and both the Nations Cup qualifiers. Yes. And we saw how he demolished the indomitable Lions when they came to Nigeria, and we saw his superb form against the Libyan team. So, what prospects do we have around him? What do you think Odion Ighalo?
He hasn't scored now for some time
in this competition.
So I won't give him a full pass to getting or being the highest goal scorer for this AFCON competition. Okay. But I will say that he's still going to do a very great job for Nigeria, because I've seen how good he is when he's playing, when he's in his prime. So I will say that he just has to settle down, put more effort and focus more, and I think he's going to be very wonderful in this tournament to come.
After that horrible loss, that miss against Argentina in the World Cup, do you think Nigerians have forgiven him? Would this be another platform for him?
I really would tell you that Nigerians have not forgiven Odion Ighalo for missing that goal. There was no reason for him to complain. All he just needed to do was to score that goal. But unfortunately, whatever happened. And I want to say at this point that I'm a fan of some players in that squad that General has selected. The likes of Mikel, forever and ever I'll be his fan. The like of Victor Moses, unfortunately we are going to miss him in this Nations Cup. He's not going to be there because he has resigned playing for Nigeria. I also love this guy, another Moses, who plays our 11 left side. Moses Simon, yeah, that guy is very good, and I think this Nations Cup we are going to parade a lot of good midfielders.
Okay, there is a concern: scoring goals. During the last Nations Cup, we had the likes of Emmanuel Emenike, and we've always had our own late gangling Rashidi Yekini. And I've not really seen any Nigerian that has stepped into that shoes. Do you think this present Eagles, we have a player that will go out in AFCON to break records and score goals? We know what Ahmed Musa did during the World Cup. He took Nigeria far. He scored very critical goals. But do we have the striker in this team that can fit in? We saw what Emenike did during the last Nations Cup. He scored some crucial goals for Nigeria against Mali, against Burkina Faso. We saw what he did. But do we really have such a player in this team that can...
Okay, at this point, I'm going to do something. I'm going to mention the name of those forwards that we have.
Yes.
We have the likes of Ahmed Musa, we have Victor Osimhen, we have Moses Simon, we have Henry Onyekuru, we have Odion Ighalo, we have Alex Iwobi, we have Samuel Kanu, we have Paul Onuachu, the guy that scored the only goal against Egypt, and we have Chukwueze, whom we have talked about before. If Nigeria is going to play 4-3-3, how do you think Nigeria should line up the forward?
For me, our forward should be a very good forward line of Samuel Chukwueze, Odion Ighalo, and Ahmed Musa for me. Ahmed Musa to play your left wing role, your striking forward should be Odion Ighalo, and your right wing role should be given to Samuel Chukwueze. I see Samuel Chukwueze as someone who can be able to help Nigeria create goals. Because Ahmed Musa and Odion Ighalo are very good at scoring goals. So if you have someone like Chukwueze able to drop balls or give them the service to be able to score goals, they will do it for Nigeria. and I see a very good AFCON competition for us if these three can play together or can gel together as a team.
Okay, what of you, sir?
I would want to say that Ahmed Musa is known to be a wrecker. He's known to be a destroyer. If given the opportunity, Ahmed Musa can create chances and he can even score for himself. But I'm looking at one player, Victor Osimhen. This young man, we all saw what he did during the Under-17 World Cup.
Yes.
He single-handedly took Nigeria to the final, scoring in all the games. And he has grown, he has matured, and he has made the Super Eagles team. He's a debutant for the Nations Cup. And going there with so much expectation, I think most of the teams may really not focus on Victor Osimhen. They may go for Ahmed Musa or Dion Igalo, and that will give Osimhen the opportunity to crack. So to me, I see Victor Osimhen as Ross Joker in that team. Henry Onyekuru came in during the game against Zimbabwe, and we saw the pace of the game changed. The young man we call Paul Onuachu, yes, he's coming up, he's gangling, he has his strength, but I don't know how far he can go. But I want to beat my chest for Victor Osimhen.
All right.
He will deliver.
All right. Now, if we look at this, our Super Eagles, there is something that has always been a thing of concern for me, is that they don't have much of ability for set pieces. Now, if we look at this forward, these people, how much of crosses do we get from the like of Musa, the like of Simon? They do much of dribbling and running. But set pieces to score goals,
that's
not always there.
You have
no free kick. I don't know. Most times it's just play the ball, kick the ball around. No tactical. But I heard this morning that Gernot Roy is going to be starting giving them tactical plans of how to play their game, and he's singling out Alex Iwobi to do the job. But one problem I have with Alex Iwobi is that sometimes he gets tired easily. You just see him he will be on the pitch, but he's not in the game anymore. But then I also say that if Gernot Roy is planning on playing physical game, he should use the like of Samuel Kalu. That guy is very strong. He's always there. But the problem I also have with him is that he does not always finish his job. He'll get to the 18, he will do dribble, do all those, then he'll just give the ball away sometimes. So I think it is a good thing that we advise Mr. Gernot Roy if he can work more on his set pieces.
Well, let's go back to history and the way the Nigerian team plays. We had the likes of Bonferi Joe.
We
had the likes of Clemens Westerhoff. And, we also had the likes of Stephen Keshi. We had the likes of Onegbinde.
Yes.
And, if you look at the way the Nigerian team plays presently, I don't really see the swingers, the ball, being crossed in for the attackers or the midfielders to make hay. I take you back. When we played the 1980 African Cup of Nations, we had a player, we call him Segun Odegbami. They call him mathematical Odegbami. When he holds the ball, he will dribble the ball and will cross in. We also had this guy by the left, Amasi Yamake. He played from the left. He will dribble and he will cross in. We come up to 1984. We had the likes of James Etogebe and Tarela Okorowanta. These were players that could always pull in the balls. We later had the likes of Ademola Adesina, and we had this guy that plays from the left wing, Humphrey Edobo.
Okay. These
were players that they would pile the pressure on the opponent and would send in crosses. They were ball jugglers. They could dribble, they could send in the crosses. We also had the likes of Finidi George. We could see him during the World Cup in 1994, during the Nations Cup in 1994. You could see Nigeria coming in with the crosses. It later, got to the likes of Olise.
The likes of Mutiu Adepoju.
Olise, Mutiu, when the balls are being crossed in, Adepoju could knock the ball to score because that was why they called him the headmaster.
Yes.
Because they were players who could feed him with the right balls. But in this modern day Super Eagles team, I don't really see a playmaker who runs with the ball and sends in the crosses.
I don't really think they don't send in the crosses.
So
Because
what
if you watch
happens?
some of their games, they actually send some crosses. But I think the crosses are just wayward because they don't take their time to see who is in the box or to see where the space is to be able to give those people to score those goals. Some of them just cross the ball waywardly into the box for someone to hit the ball. And the ball doesn't get to those players. So they have to watch how they cross the ball for me. I think they have to learn to play their set pieces better, to play their crossings better. That's just the main problem.
I want to say something that if you look at our strikers, who are they? We have Odion Igalo. If you want to mention the main striker now, is he good in the air?
Yes,
strong.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
is very good in the air.
So who does the crosses? Musa, Simon Moses, Samuel Kalu, that could feed him.
Let's
crosses.
look at it like this. You know, before now we used to have overlapping defenders who could always come up. The likes of Ifeanyi Udenze, the likes of there's this Hausa boy, what's his name? He played for the Super Eagles for a while.
Tijani Babangida.
Not
Okay,
Tijani.
Taiwo.
No, not Taiwo. Abdul, God, I've forgotten his name, but he was always overlapping and he could cross the ball. We had the likes of Celestin
Babayaro.
They could pile pressure and they could still make dangerous incursions, crosses that would still result to goals. I want to see Raw in this team. I will, if I'm to advise, I want him to build on setting up a player that can also change the game of the face of the game by coming in, piling pressure and sending in the crosses. Iwobi most times tries to send those crosses in, but
Nobody to pick it up.
the view, having the aerial view to really know, okay, let me pinpoint this ball to my striker. Mikel does that very well. If you watch him play,
yes.
he sets the ball, he sets it, when he comes with a set piece, it gets directly to who he sends it for. So I want Raw to now that he's putting up his tactical plan, he should be able to perfect these players with the likes of crossing the balls in, because this is African football, and in African football the ruggedity is there, the physicalness is there, so you need to pull in loose balls for the strikers to have a heyday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clement. We'll be hoping to see you soon on this platform. Thank you very much for your contribution. And our viewers who appreciate you coming to this channel, watch more of our talk shows and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.